Welcome to the lobby, everyone. I'm your host, Jacki Jing, with my co-host, Camille. And today we got a special guest, a balloonist, popular on Twitch, known as Sharp Balloons. So happy to have you on, Shayna. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's fun to be
Yay.
here.
Yes. So I have so many questions.
Okay.
I really, honestly, I want to know how this balloon journey even started. I mean, like, is that like too, are we coming in too hot? Like, I'm like me asking you to explain your
Well,
whole journey here.
I was seeing the balloons in the background, Shayna, and I was just like, okay, was that celebration for the new year? I'm guessing.
Y- yeah, that was a little bit like leftover Christmas decorations and then like crossover to New Year. We had a bunch of balloons in the background for the holidays for sure. Yeah, I've been making balloons now for 18 years. When I was 26 years old, I met a birthday clown, and I was like, okay, you need to show me how it is you do what you do, because I don't want to work in an office for the rest of my life.
Aw.
Yeah, it basically, I was trained to do like the full birthday clown thing. Like I went full makeup, rainbow overalls, big shoes.
Aw.
I did face painting, little magic show, sometimes, just various clown stuff, and the balloon animals. But he only taught me like the dog and the sword and the flower and like the stuff you see everybody do. And I did the whole thing for about 4 or 5 years, and then at some point I was like, I really love balloons. It's the balloon art that's really calling to my creative like spirit. I've always been an artist ever since I was a kid. I've always been a performer, and balloons is like this amazing perfect blend of like visual art and performance art. And I love kids. I love being silly. I never have taken myself that seriously, and so it was just this perfect little niche that I fit into. And then the rest of the story was basically just hyper focus. Like once you find something, even if you do simple balloons, like if you just make the one balloon dog, people, it makes them happy. Like it really
Aw.
makes them happy, and that's so motivating for me. I'm very motivated by praise. So
Get
when people are like,
that.
"Oh, I love what you did. You just made my day." Like I I I just wanted to get better at it.
Hmm.
And it took a minute before my two-dimensional art brain kind of recalibrated to work in three dimensions. But once I kind of realized that a medium is a medium is a medium, right? If you are doing watercolors or digital art or ceramics, it's all an outlet. And once you are fluent in your medium, you can do anything. Like it's all subjective. So who's going to say you aren't doing it? So, I just kind of poured myself into that, and yeah, no regrets. Here we
That's
are,
so
18
cool.
years later.
That's so cool that, like, just, what you're saying, like how you gave that balloon, even if it's the simplest balloon, it makes someone smile. And that's kind of led you on this journey. How does that now, going from doing like kids parties or and making these balloon animals that make these kids smile and make people happy, to the idea pivoting to streaming on Twitch?
Yeah, no, that's I would not have predicted that I would be here if you told me all those years ago. Um, Basically, I mean, you've really hit the nail on the head where it is about happiness. And yes, kids love it. But as I got better, I started noticing that the adults at the party would kind of wait till all the kids were done. They'd be like, okay, but like, can you make a SpongeBob? uh, but can you do this thing that I love? And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go. And I really, there's not really an age limit to, the wonder. It's a very nostalgic art form, right? We've all
Yeah.
seen The
Yeah.
Dog and the Sword. So when you kind of combine that nostalgia and the simplicity with like a high degree of expertise, it's almost like truffle oil in your mac and cheese, right? It's like you bring it up to this new level, but it still has that familiarity of something that's iconic of childhood.
Mhm.
So I realized early on that there was no age limit. And then I don't know if you heard, but in 2020, we canceled all of the parties,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that was my living. That's how I support my family, and I was a little stressed. And my sister-in-law actually is a big gamer, and she and her wife stream on Twitch, and she was like, I think maybe you could do live streaming. I'm like, oh, I'll try, and I was blown away by the reception.
Mhm.
And then I realized it is all about happiness. It's all about these
Yeah.
moments of joy and like seeing the creation happen in front of your eyes is, I
Mhm.
think, a lot of what it is. It's why there is art stream in general on Twitch. People like to see the process. They like to see the beginning and the work and the details and the end. And if it's balloons instead of painting, then why not?
Yeah,
So
so I want to know, obviously, like you started this when you were 26 years old, roughly, right? And
mhm.
then it evolved into your own business, it sounds like, and then COVID hit. So we're not like completely over the hump here, right? Like we're still dealing with repercussions of COVID. But how is your business shaped now? Because I know that you were telling us that you worked recently on the Inside Out premiere. So then I was like, oh, was that for her balloon work or like a corporate job or what was going on? And then I was like, oh, maybe she was, I don't know, making balloons there. So I'd love to know how the business operates now.
I would love if you can figure that out. You just let me know.
Right, yeah.
Honestly, I am definitely in the process of figuring out what it looks like. My business
Mhm.
before was pretty straightforward. I get contacted by a parent. I drive to the venue of the birthday party. I work for, 2 to 4 hours. They pay me. Everyone feels great. And now I have some of that still live events, but I also have live streaming. Another thing that happened during the pandemic was obviously made my studio for streaming in my house, and then was contacted by a few uh, other clients, like DreamWorks and like uh, uh, Gabby's Dollhouse is a show that was on Netflix that was like really big
Mhm.
in that.
My niece loves Gabby's Dollhouse.
Yeah.
Loves. Obsessed. Kids are obsessed with it.
Yes,
It
definitely.
absolutely, absolutely. And so they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, we want you to make the Gabby's Dollhouse characters out of balloons." And I'm like, "Great, this is work that I can do from home, like not giving people like balloons in person." So I shot that for them, and that video now has 24 million views on it. It's not my video, like they own it, but like it was crazy popular.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
producer of that short, and I did one for like Trolls World Tour that came out. I did one for like Jurassic World, which surprised me. But like, they're just
That's
looking
so
for.
cool.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was very grateful because again, I had crickets as far as my normal income stream.
Yeah.
Uh, so then the producer for that short ended up getting a job with Noggin. You remember Noggin?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like that was my warm my Nick Jr. kid heart, and they had an idea for a kid show where I would make a balloon and like talk about an animal. So it's like today we're going to make a cheetah, and then I make the cheetah while telling them interesting animal facts. And so I ended up doing like 2 seasons of a show for Noggin that way. So none of it at this point is enough to like make a full-time living at doing just that one thing. So it's
Yeah.
my life right now is all very like piecemeal. So there's like a
Okay.
little bit coming in from streaming and a little bit coming in from digital content and a little bit coming in still from live events.
Mm-hmm.
As for the Inside Out 2 premiere, that was absolutely a balloon event.
How
Um,
fun.
so when Disney does red carpet premieres at the El Capitan Theater down in Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
they do like a almost like a mini circus kind of it. Like they shut down Hollywood Boulevard
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
like they hire a bunch of variety performers and they wanted a large balloon anxiety. Have you seen the
Yes,
film?
yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, how
So
fun.
I made this enormous, like, where I don't know if I could like be here. It was like
You're real running out of
it was
space there,
like
but yeah.
How funny.
I built basically it was like a gigantic Vegas showgirl head like piece. I literally built it around a bicycle helmet so I could wear the helmet like because it's windy. I strapped it to my head, this enormous anxiety balloon head, and like made hands and kind of walked around on the
Oh,
red carpet
wow.
like taking
How
pictures with people.
cool.
The events that I mean, that's the great thing about living in Los Angeles is you do get some kind of like 90% of it is overprivileged children's birthday parties, right? But
That's
you'll get
hilarious.
these
I like how you're keeping
like
it real. Yeah.
industry events or just these fun little crossover things.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
That is
Like,
so cool. Oh my gosh. I don't want to my mind is blowing up with questions right now. Someone in the chat, I think Amy Roberts was like the easiest balloon to create is a dog, and I just was like, I
Wait,
wonder.
is it?
I don't
No.
know. That's what Amy said. So then I wanted to ask Shayna. I was like, is that true or
Yes.
what do you think is the easiest thing to do? Yeah.
Well, the first balloon anyone learns how to make is a dog. It's iconic.
Interesting.
And when I say a dog, I'm not talking like, oh my God, that looks just like a bichon frise.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean,
You need
like
the.
Jeff
Yeah.
Koons, like the
Yeah.
big, exactly.
Okay.
So, Jackie, what's your favorite color?
Mine?
Yes.
Lavender. I love lavender and pink. Yeah.
Let's go. Okay.
No
so
way.
Camille's gonna lose it. I mean, I'm gonna lose it too. This is awesome.
This is the best thing ever.
telling you, your inner child is freaking out right now.
Oh my gosh.
It really
That
is. It really
literally
is.
my favorite color, and just seeing a single balloon of lavender just you were talking about how it brings people joy, and like just look at Camille and my reaction, it's wild.
It's I am still surprised by it, which is crazy. But like, people are like, oh, that's so interesting. You do balloons. And when they see it happen,
Yeah.
there's this moment where it starts out as just this skinny little nothing. And then like all of
Yeah.
a sudden, like, it's huge.
It's
it takes
cool.
up space.
It is so cool.
So I'm gonna try and get this in our little segment here. I can
Okay.
usually make a dog in about 5 seconds if I'm going fast.
Is
You
this
ready?
a tutorial? Are you teaching us how to make a dog?
First, I'm going to make it as fast as I can, which is not a tutorial.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone has balloons at home, but here we go. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go. Done. There we go.
That is
How?
insane.
How did you do that so
That
fast?
is insane. I don't even know what I just saw, Camille. I didn't process that. I'm malfunctioning.
That, like,
Balloon artists are kind of like the original 3D printers. Like, we take this little skinny piece of material, and then all of a
so
sudden
cool.
you create this thing.
That is so cool.
The chat's just going go 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 and OMG. I love it so much. I can't believe you can do that fast. So is that like is it
muscle
that
memory.
easy for you? Just like can do this in seconds like that?
I could do that one behind my back. Like that
Oh.
one is so. But like, here's the thing. I at TwitchCon last year, I did a live panel where I taught people to make balloons. And like
Aw.
every time I've done this, every single time, I can pick a volunteer and bring them up on stage, teach them to make the balloon dog, and then have them make it literally behind their backs.
No.
the first time, and they will absolutely do it. Not super fast,
So it's
but
really just knowing the craft, like, and like paying it. Because the thing is, I'm freaking out here, Shayna. I'm like, I can't believe you did that. So I couldn't even pay attention to the different steps in that process because the whole time I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. So I understand now. It's really paying attention to the craft, maybe taking some notes.
I mean, it's when you like it, so the very, very, very first balloon. Oh, you said pink. The very first balloon that anyone learns how to make is the dog, and it's because it's so simple. If you wanted to see, this is my enormous balloon pump that I have here. This
That is
is
wild.
oh yes, thank you.
I didn't even know that existed. Yeah.
All right, there we go. So, but at the very basic level, you're basically just turning the balloon down, squeezing, and then twisting this loop. Everyone's always afraid that balloons will pop, but they're
Yeah.
extraordinarily resilient.
Okay.
Latex, which, by the way, oh, this is like a good chance for me to do a little public service announcement. Balloons are not plastic. Like a lot of people think that balloons are terrible for the environment or they're plastic or whatever. That is not the case.
Interesting.
Balloons, at least the balloons that I use and everyone uses, are latex. Latex is actually created from the sap of a rubber tree. Like it is literally a natural product. Now, yes, they definitely add some crazy pigments to the mixture. It's not like all rubber tree, but it's biodegradable. So you cannot recycle it, but if it goes in the landfill, it's just going to break down, which is more than you can say for the
Straw?
vast majority
Yeah.
Yeah.
of what we use, right?
Straw does do that.
So it's a
That
very
is so cool.
simple 3 steps to make
So
the
cute.
basic balloon dog.
It's so
So
cute.
so like for me, because like I would try to make a balloon animal as a kid because I think every kid does it once they see it once.
Yay.
And I just got to the point where I'm like, mine's is always going to be a snake. It's always just going to be as is.
So what is the snake? Do you just make the head?
Not even, Jackie. It's just as is. That's what I do. So for you, because you already mastered,
We're
you've
gonna
already
make a snake, by the
mastered.
way, just for Camille.
What would a snake look like actually? Because that's exactly what I say a snake is. That's a
It
snake to
is
me.
year of the snake, right?
Yeah.
It is
So
the year of the snake.
I will show you how I usually make a snake.
Oh, I'm
First of
excited
all,
now.
I know, right? This is just
This is
So
it's
cool.
so wild because it's so simple because it's a balloon, but then you make it so complex, but then you do it so simply. My mind is just like blown right now in every way possible. But yes.
so one thing to address the point of like as a kid you tried it and you were like, nope. One thing that I have is that those balloon twisting kits where they're like, learn to make these 5 animals, right?
I'm just getting Camille's reactions.
They will come packaged with the worst quality balloons. I don't know why. 100%.
Mm.
Like I work with there are a few brands, a handful of brands out there that are like pretty good where you're like, okay, like this is going to stand up to the weird things I'm asking the balloon to do.
Mhm.
But there are also some very cheap brands out there. And I'm sure that it's more affordable for the people who are packaging together these, these learn to twist balloons things. But
Mhm.
it seems counterintuitive to me because it's like, those are the people who need the good balloons the most, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to like be, oh yeah, here, try this. And then you tell yourself, well, I'm no good. It kept popping. It has nothing to do with you. Although I will say when you're very first starting, it's super helpful to have someone physically there with you to teach you what to do and to like tell you where to squeeze it and how to
Shayna,
twist
I'm gonna
it.
give you a business idea. You should make your balloons and sell them.
I should. I tell you
Because
why.
you're a
Because
pro at this. You know what a good
You
balloon
know so
requires.
much.
Yeah.
yeah, it would be. I do not have build a manufacturing plant.
Yeah, it'd be annoying, definitely. But I'm just
Startup
impressed with
capital.
how much you know about the whole process. I'm like,
I
okay,
was
I mean, it is the thing is, it's a job like any other, and it's an
yeah.
industry like any other. Like I'm gonna go to Atlanta next month to teach at an international balloon convention. I've taught in like
That's
6 or
amazing.
7 different countries over the world. Like there are people who do this for a living. There are manufacturers, there are companies that produce accessories, and it's just very, very niche. But we exist, and yeah, if you want to
Shayna.
be a professional, you got to learn all this stuff.
Shayna, no
Okay.
way you're making the
We've
tongue
got
right now.
our
Out of
snake's head.
you are no way you are
I'm
doing
giving
that
it
right
its
now.
tongue
That is
here.
so cool. I'm sorry. We're gonna put you full screen
Boring as a
again. That is
body,
so
right?
cool.
I don't like this body, so we're gonna rip that off. We don't need
Oh
that
my
part.
god.
So earlier,
Camille is shook. Just rip the body off with no regard.
absolutely right. Okay,
That
so
was
this is
wild.
weird. I'm gonna wrap the balloon
Okay.
around my fingers. Whoop, if I can manage that. Here's the cool thing I learned about balloons
Okay.
is that whatever shape you have the balloon in, when you put air into it, it will want to retain that shape. So I have to use this pump, which is on the table here, but
Like my curly hair.
yes,
So funny.
Your finger.
Oh wow.
so look at this like wild little curly
What?
shape. I know.
Oh, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. That was so cool. I was in shock. I am in shock. How? How does it? I did not know balloons could do all this stuff. That looks so cool. I'm sorry, I'm putting you
That
full
is
screen
so
again.
cool.
Well, I learned.
Hold it up again. Oh,
Give
the little
eyes
eye.
here,
Oh,
some little nostrils.
it's super cute. That is that. Oh my, the little nose. This is okay. This
There's
is so
cool
fun.
things.
This is so fun. Ugh. Can I hire you to just? Can you come to my house and just make balloons for a
Please
day? And I
do.
can just be
Do
like,
we need a special
"Yay."
occasion for
Container, do it.
Okay, so I have a weird question, but do you have like a best balloon memory?
Ooh.
That's such a good question.
I don't know, like maybe it was a moment where you made something for someone and their reaction was so great, or maybe it was you created something and you felt super proud of it, or maybe both, you know? Like I wonder if there, and maybe you have a top 3, you know, but like I wonder if there's any balloon memories that really stick out to you.
Oh man, so
I never thought I'd say that to anybody in my entire life, by the way. What balloon memories stick out to you? But okay.
sentences you never thought you'd say. But here we are. I so honestly, I am very, very ADHD.
Yay, me
I
too.
don't know if you could tell, but I mean, that's one of the reasons why this art form and this lifestyle appeals to me. I also do like improv comedy. I love making stuff up in the moment. I'm not good at preparing. And I've realized that it does affect my memory. I remember like feelings. I remember like that something brings me joy. I don't remember like a lot of really specific things.
Yeah.
I can tell you that on in my streaming journey on Twitch, we've made some crazy things because what Twitch allows me to do is if I want to spend 3 hours on a balloon, I can do that. At a birthday party, you've got a line of people waiting and you kind of have to move. You can't
Yeah.
take more than like 5-7 minutes on a balloon because you multiply that out by even 5 people and now they're waiting for like a half hour, right?
Mhm.
That's, you have to keep it moving. But on Twitch, because the whole audience is benefiting from the one sculpture you're making, you can go nutso and people
Mhm.
love it. So we made a functioning Pez dispenser. We
N-
made we've
No!
made multiple Pokemon.
Oh,
Uh,
oh my God,
one thing,
stop. 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 I'm sorry. Just the fact that you said you've made balloon Pokemon, that just like shook me to my core. Please tell me you've made a Garchomp because it's my favorite and nobody
yeah,
remembers Garchomp.
okay, hang on. I'm gonna look up a Garchomp here.
Garchomp's tough. He's a like 7'5" hammerhead shark. I
Oh,
believe he is.
I might have made this guy. Because here's the thing:
Yeah.
when I go to events, once I tell kids or whoever, once I tell the people I'm making
Adults.
games
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
yeah,
Us. Yes.
kids of all ages, right?
Mhm.
So once I tell
Aw.
people that I can make literally anything, like not figuratively, literally anything, they kind of start looking things up on their phone and like, oh, can you make this? So I don't remember all the names of things, but as long as I can see a picture, like you can generally make an approximation of that. I could make a Garchomp.
That's so
Like,
cool.
it might take me a while because he's definitely
He's
like a more
big and he's
elaborate.
complex too. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's one thing I do always tell people is like, as long as I get to determine the scale,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Like, I'm not always going to make a life size. Like, if you ask me for an Eiffel Tower, we're not going to like go
Oh
through the
my
roof.
gosh. Yeah.
But I can make an Eiffel Tower, like, no problem.
Yeah.
So it's really just a matter of, well, with all art, all visual art is taking a concept or a real thing and simplifying it, right? Because, like, even the most photorealistic painting is still smudges of paint on
Yeah.
a flat canvas. You're not seeing, even though it looks like the texture of her hair, it actually doesn't, and you don't see behind, and you don't see the canals of the ear. Like, there's so much you don't see. So every artist chooses what is important. Every artist makes it's all decisions, right? So you have to prioritize on the fly. And so balloon art, like any art, is problem solving. You're trying to say, what's the most iconic feature of this thing? It wouldn't be a Garchomp without fill in the blank and then kind of go in a descending order. So
Mm.
it's like, I would say, like that hammerhead, like shape of the head. I can't, you have to do that. The colors, very important. Now with the balloons, I have a limited palette of colors that I have, but they make a lot of colors
Oh, so
Oh,
and a
cool.
lot
wow.
of
A
different
limited
I
palette.
love
You have all the
that.
colors in the world.
That's so pretty. And they're like all different size. Are they different sizes or is that just me?
What a good eye you have.
Thank you.
They
Thanks.
are all different sizes. This is the 260, which is your traditional like dog size balloon.
Mm-hmm.
But then they also have a 160, which is good for like details.
Oop.
Now the naming convention, the first digit is the diameter of the balloon. So this is 2 inches and this is 1 inch.
Okay.
But of course they also have 350. So a 3
Oh
inch
my gosh,
diameter.
that's giant. I don't think I've ever seen that size. I typically see the smaller one, I think.
Exactly. No, that really the 2 inch is the most
Common one, yeah.
And then I would say, the 350 and the 160 are kind of like less common, but we also have a 646,
I don't even know how this is gonna look.
which is a big
No
boy.
way.
This is the 6 inch diameter.
What?
balloon. I know.
That's like a little melon.
Oh my
It's so
gosh.
All
That's
these different.
so cool.
This is the cylinders, right? We also have round balloons, heart-shaped balloons, balloons that link together at the neck and at the end. So there's a lot. And
So to your conversation before, like, you were saying you won't make anything like obviously at the Eiffel Tower, you're not gonna make it as big as the Eiffel Tower, but what has been the biggest balloon you've ever made?
good question. That one I remember because there is a distinct answer to that. It was approximately an 11-foot tall Godzilla with a Santa hat. Now, that was not for stream. That was for
That's so
someone's
cool.
Christmas party. Someone was having a Christmas
That is so
party in
cool.
Orange County, and they're like, I want it was like a Japan themed party, and they wanted an enormous balloon Godzilla. So I like
Of
rented
course.
a U-Haul, made it in pieces, brought it down, and like kind of finally assembled it in their backyard. And it was
Wow.
That's insane.
big.
Oh my gosh. I need to. So, do you have like a huge TikTok or and like do you make the little short form videos and stuff like that or not really?
Don't. And that's
Yeah,
You
mostly
should.
because
you so
I
should. Yeah.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, it would have to be edited, obviously, because like what I do, the one thing about balloons is it does take some time. Like if you're gonna make something impressive, it's gonna take at least an hour to make something that's like super
You should
detailed, right?
do time lapse.
Yeah, yeah. I did do like when I made
Yeah.
the anxiety head for the Inside Out premiere. I had like a time lapse video on that, but
Oh, I
I
think you'd be
you know,
huge.
You would, yeah, you would definitely like the Pez dispenser, thanks chat for dropping that in there, but that is just insane. A
That dog you
working
just did, I think
Pez
that would go viral.
dispenser, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like
you know,
you're so
sweet.
talented, and I'm sitting here wondering what am I doing with my life? Like, what,
Um,
Camille? What am I doing with my life?
You're doing you. I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's like what I don't know. I'm like in my 40s, I have a kid, I'm like doing my thing, and it's just every fork in the road that I ever approached, any major decision point, I usually chose the one that was not for stability and predictable income and like the sense making decision. I went with the thing that made me happy and
Yeah,
made me feel like I was being more authentically myself. And I'm not gonna like lie and be like, and now I'm a successful millionaire with no problems. Like I struggle.
mhm.
I mean, like I'm living in Los Angeles. It's rough out here.
Yeah.
It's not on fire,
Yeah, I know.
but at the end of the day, loving your life is also a form of compensation
yeah,
and not hating 8 hours of every day, like just kind of enjoying what it is you do and constantly being engaged and wanting to and making people happy. I mean, I
Mm.
love that. That is at the core of what I do is I just want to make people smile and hopefully laugh. And if I can do that, I feel like I've done what I was put on this planet to do.
Okay. I'm giving you a social media plan and you can take it or leave it.
Love it.
But I
Let's go.
think you should literally, your first video should be you making that dog in 3 seconds flat because that video alone would go viral. Am I wrong, Camille?
yeah.
That was
Like how quick?
nuts.
No, making the dog behind your back in 3 seconds flat,
Yes.
which
That,
I know
that's
you could already do.
that's
That
your
would be
second
insane.
video. That's the second
Okay.
video.
All
Yeah.
right, we're gonna build.
And then after that, just ask people for requests and just do time lapses.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like, you are sitting
You
on an
you need
empire. Seriously. Yeah.
it would be great. Like it will
It
be
would blow up.
crazy on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally
You
agree.
would go
up.
so viral.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
There you go. But okay, so you mentioned you are a mother. Have your kids like do they request things from you all the time? Like, hey mom, can
Aw.
you make me?
Oddly enough, no.
That's funny.
My son, I only have one kid. He turned 6 in November,
Aw.
and
Oh.
he has just always, I've been doing balloons for 18 years, so he's had it around his whole life, and I think he likes it. He thinks it's interesting, and he'll twist his own balloons. He'll experiment with that, but also it's a little bit like, well, like don't all mommies do that? Like, isn't that it's not. How do you know? You don't know what's like normal until you kind of get out in the world. So now he started kindergarten this year, and he's making friends and like going over to other people's houses, and that's when you start like realizing that your upbringing is unique. Everyone's upbringing is unique,
Yeah.
and so he hasn't quite got there yet, but every birthday I definitely ask him like, okay, I will make you whatever balloon you want. This year he wanted a snake, actually, but I made him a really big one in the
Oh wow.
shape, a purple snake in the shape of the number 6 was what he wanted.
Oh,
And then
That's cute.
his birthday, he asked me for ghost face with the little knife.
so he's going through his villain era,
Yeah,
apparently.
apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is not a phase. Ever since he was a kid, he's always like you remember Cars, like the first
Yeah.
Cars
Yeah.
movie? He got fixated on the gang of like 4 cars that like runs lightning off
Oh,
the road at the beginning of the film.
Uh-huh.
I know
yeah.
it's DJ, Boost, like I know these characters because he kept wanting me to tell him stories about these 4 characters. It was
Oh,
like
I love
it was
that.
it's like he's writing fan fiction. Like,
Oh,
you like pick like a character that doesn't have too much backstory so you can like
yeah.
fill it in yourself. He's
Love
obsessed with like
that.
henchman characters and like little like side villain characters. It's crazy. But I love it. I love it. I think it's so fun.
That is
That's so
so fun.
cute.
Also, you guys, it's like a balloon family affair, right? Your husband is also into balloons. Was he into balloons before y'all met, or was that like? Tell us the love story. How did this all come to be?
Uh, Mr. Sharp and I actually met doing short form comedy improv
Oh,
uh,
fun.
in
God, I love
in
that.
Southern California. I had been a member of this one. It's a small town like comedy troupe up
Hmm.
in Ventura. I don't know. It's like north of LA.
Okay.
And he joined the troupe, and we literally met on New Year's Eve because it was like the special New Year's Eve show, and we we just kind of fell in love with each other's brains is like
Aw.
how I can best put that, because when you do improv and you're coming up with things on the spot in front of an audience and like trying to make the other one look good and supporting each other's comedy impulses, we realized that we were very similar in that way. And so he
Aw.
doesn't actually make balloons. He doesn't
Okay.
like twist the balloons with me, but he's a huge part of the stream. I love,
Oh, okay. Cause
if
his
I don't know,
gamer tag was like Mr. Sharp Balloons, right? Wasn't it? So I assumed he did balloon work as well. But no, he's just hyping you up. He's like a part of the
He's
show
just
exactly,
fully
promoting you.
supportive.
Got
Yeah.
it.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. He's like Mr. Shayna, It's like, oh yes,
Yes.
I
I
am
love
love
the
that.
supporting character. But
Yeah.
I mean, that was really what kind of brought for me my streaming to like the next level was, live streaming. One thing is, although you have chat there, you're the only one there. You got to keep yourself talking. And while
Yeah.
talking incessantly has always been a particular skill of mine,
Get
it's
that.
just nice to have a person in the room who gets you, who makes you laugh, who you can make laugh, who like you guys can talk about that. And then obviously still interacting with chat, but like having that presence in there it keeps me laughing, keeps me surprised, keeps me engaged, and I think people like watching people who are having fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we have fun together.
Oh,
That is so adorable. That's so cute.
so
Um,
cute.
oh my
What?
God, I could go on about balloons, but I know you are much more than the balloons that you make because,
That was
you
so deep.
also
I love it.
that's what I do, Jackie. That's this is stuff. But no, we were talking. Obviously, Jackie and I were both gamers. You like board games, code names. Is your board game of choice? Would that be right? Because
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, do you play code names?
Yes, I do with my friends. It's funny because I feel like during the pandemic, like I wasn't like a core like board game player growing up.
Mhm.
I was more into video games, but then
Mhm.
during the pandemic, I think everyone forced in their houses. I was with my whole family. So we played a lot of board games and that's when I got into it. Settlers is one that will tear families apart.
Oh,
Um
yeah.
A lot
but
of
what
them
would
do,
you
yes.
I mean, a lot of them
Yeah.
do, but what would you say is your like what was your origin story with like board games? Because you played Magic like way back then as
Oh,
well?
yeah. So let's see, I graduated high school in like 99. So like just to kind of like frame my youth, right?
Okay.
So I was a 90s kid, and my parents were older, so, or they still are. They're even older now. I don't know if you know how time works, but they were definitely like skeptical of video games. Like we had like maybe one or two video. They were very hesitant to let that in the house, so we didn't really have that. I had a boyfriend in high school who was very much into video games, and so I kind of like see that, but I tried playing like GoldenEye once and I couldn't walk out of the corner. I'm like, well, I'm bad at this, so I'm never going to do it again because that's my work ethic. I like being good at things immediately. And if I'm not, I just walk away.
It's okay.
So,
There were enough kids that were on GoldenEye. It's okay. I got
Yeah,
you there. I
yeah.
got you covered there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? So I didn't, after that, I kind of I didn't really ever gravitate toward the games that he was playing. I was kind of aware of them, but he did play Magic the Gathering also, and that was something I could get my head around because I can build the deck. I like the
Yeah.
art. I'm an artist, so I really loved some of the artwork is just gorgeous on those cards. And that was like, at first I'm like, oh, I like the pretty cards, and then I'm like, wait, okay, so the mana cost is what? Okay, so I tap this, then I can pull this out of my graveyard. Okay, and so then your strategic brain starts to be like, yes, I like this, and then that interpersonal thing, because I really I like that as well. And so yeah, Magic the Gathering was something that I could really get behind, at least in my college years. I say college because I got kicked out of college pretty quick. So
It's all right.
don't
It's
feel
just
like me.
it's just an institution that sucks all of our money away. It's okay. You're
Yeah,
fine.
real talk though. Yeah.
I mean, for some people, it is absolutely the thing, and I met some of the best human beings in my life there. So awesome. But yeah, but I did not get like a bachelor's in balloons or anything like that. Uh, but yeah, so Magic the Gathering was big. I used to go to Comic Cons a lot because I lived in San Diego for a brief time. I went to San Diego Comic Con for 4 or 5 years in a row, just always there. And I made a self-published comic. I was in the small press
Oh
area. Like,
wow.
my nerd is more in like the art area of
Yeah.
nerd than the video game area of nerd. But I've always like there's always been like a mutual admiration. I feel like we're like, ah, yes, I see you over there.
Yeah.
I'll be over here. But yeah,
There's
I
so
do.
many nerdy things though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you find which ones you vibe with and there's crossover and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I feel
That's
like
so
it's like a
cool
nerd scout. Like you
that
earn
you
like your video game badge and your
Yeah.
comic
your
badge and your
comic book badge.
True.
Magic the
Yes.
Gathering. Yeah. Yeah.
so like that's where I put my like creation points into, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, the art track, that's me. But yeah, but I've always loved the strategy games. I like games where there's a little bit of chance involved, because otherwise if you're not good you'll always lose, and I think that you need to have that little bit of randomness in there to
True.
keep a game truly engaging,
Mhm.
but also where strategy will give you a leg up. I love those kind of games. And yeah, and then code names has hit home for me again because of my bond with my husband. We're
Aw.
just like so dialed in the way we think and our reference points, like the things that we, because that's a big thing with code names, is you have to think of a word that links
Yes.
the words. And so it's like we just have our brain makes the same connections for whatever reason. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
That's so
that's like
cool.
Taboo. I'm like that. Like I love playing Taboo with people that I'm close with. Like if you have a good group of like friends like I'm friends with a lot of the people I grew up with. So when we get together and we're able to play code names, it's very nostalgic because a lot of people or code names or Taboo, it's like very nostalgic because then it's like we're pulling in like inside jokes from like when we were kids, and
right,
it's the
you're
same
like
thing as
bubble gum and they're like,
yeah,
oh, we remember that.
yeah,
That's
Yes.
funny.
exactly.
Oh, that's so
Right?
cool.
And it's like it just brings back right to the top where you were talking about, like, that thing that just makes people smile, like, that's a little bit of nostalgia, it's comforting, it's like putting that truffles into your mac and cheese, right? It's like
Yes.
those things that you go back to, and I'm wondering, with all of your, creative experience, is there anything, like, maybe publishing a self-published comic book, anything that you want to explore or see in the future that you may want to go back to and try again?
I I really loved working on the Noggin show, um, because it was because I started and I still get like fan emails from families who are like, my 4-year-old asks me to
Oh,
watch Shayna, like, want to watch Shayna, and like I'll get these adorable photos of like kids with their balloon dogs, and they look so proud, and
oh my
Oh,
gosh,
that's so
yes.
it's
cool.
I know. So while I love that Twitch has been an outlet for me to basically be an entertainer for big kids, for us grown-ups out there,
Yeah.
and maybe it's because I have a kid of my own where I'm like, I want to see kids entertainment that doesn't like talk down to kids or have that super put on like, "Whoa, hey kids,
Yeah,
whoa, today
yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing this."
So funny.
Kids are just humans. I know that's like a shocking concept, but they can tell. Kids hear adults talk all the time, right? We're not always talking to the kids. Sometimes the grown-ups are talking to each other. And I think they can hear how when some grown-ups talk to them, it's different. There's
Mhm.
a little like, "Oh, did you do that? How nice for you." And it just
Yeah.
feels fake.
Mhm.
Kids have like a pretty good like BS meter.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I want to talk to them. I would like to do more kids entertainment. I know that like it's like, well, it's maybe a little on the nose, like balloons for kids. I'm shocked, but I think that that's something that I would like to do is go back and like try and do that on my own, maybe on YouTube.
You
We'll
need to do
see.
YouTube. I was just gonna
Yeah,
say
you
I don't
should,
wanna
because you could do YouTube Shorts. I feel like
not
can we
even
just
not
do
even
your
YouTube
business plan right now?
Shorts. Yeah, not even YouTube Shorts. You could just do, hey, like literally just press record. Hey everybody, Sharp Balloons. Today we're making this, and then literally just upload it. Just end
Yeah.
it. Dude, that's what people are doing now. I'm telling you right now. Camille and I will be your agents and manager and
Yeah.
social media
Awesome.
managers. Apparently,
We got
but
you.
no, but like real talk. I would, if I were you, I would just be like, hey, we're doing this today. Record, and then honestly, you could even just upload some of your Twitch streams.
We
Yeah.
have a couple
Yeah,
uploaded, but yeah, but I know. And the Twitch, obviously, like Twitch is a lot more like conversation. We have a very interactive
the
community where
chat's
I'm
chiming in. Yeah, totally.
regularly
Yeah,
talking to that, and I
yeah,
can see where I have had grown-ups. I've had people like email me and they're like, "Oh, my kid really loved your noggin videos," and they're not making those anymore, and like
yeah.
we've looked at your other videos, but like it's they're not really as into it because I get it. There's a lot of time where we're like talking about I don't know whatever we're
Not
talking
just
about.
the
Yeah.
balloon. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You
Yeah,
get
yeah,
exactly.
like,
sidetracked
you
for
need
sure.
a framed YouTube that is for kids,
Yeah, yeah,
and to
yeah.
build
And
that up,
and
but,
we,
like, it would be so well done.
I definitely overthink things though, I think is my big problem where I'm like, yeah, and then we need to have this kind of thing happen, and then we need to like talk about this, and we need to like
Yep.
Every
have
creator is like this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. It's
See,
like we have to get out of our minds and just do it, and I feel like for you going to Twitch, was there that hesitation? Because I know, like, other people that have, not balloonists, but, like, they have other talents, whether it's DJing, and they're like, "Man, I really should have, like, DJ'd," but they never took that step forward. What is it for you that makes you, like, what do you think if someone's really on that cliff just wondering, okay, like, how do I take that next step to dive into what I want to do? What advice would you give them?
I mean, like it's the most boring advice, but like just do it. And that's also the thing that I need to follow my own
Yeah.
advice. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, just do it. It seems so easy. It seems so simple. But know yourself and get out of your own way. Because for me, again, being super ADHD, I get all of these tangents, all these possibilities, and I want to do it all. And then I'm working on a thing and I'm like, wait, but I should also do this thing. Wait, but I got to also have like a website for this. Wait, maybe I should have like a theme song. Wait, maybe I should also,
Yeah.
and I'm like, just make a video.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Just start making
do the
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be perfect when you first put it out there, right? Like, if anything, in the end, people like seeing the journey.
They love
If
that.
they,
Yeah.
yeah, how great is it to be like, oh man, I've been watching her since she was bad. You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay,
She could
great.
even do that balloon dog.
You know
Yeah,
what though? Like, also I'm ADHD as well, and literally like everything you're saying, I'm like, ugh, say it again, I get it. But I think now people like things that are really genuine and real and not have all the bells and whistles. Like Camille and I have backgrounds in broadcast, and it's almost been something like we've had to break because it's like people like when you're just like casual and just literally, that's why I was just saying, like, you could literally just be on your camera, press record, go to your spot. You don't need to edit that out, and then just be like, hey, what's up? We're making this today. And then just start it and end it, but I say that, and then I'm like, okay, then why don't you do that, Jackie? Then why aren't you doing that? Because you know what I mean? So it's like, I get it. But whenever I do, I'm always like proud of myself because I'm like, I think that we get so caught up with being a perfectionist, and it's like really people just are such a fan of you and just want access to your content, and like we get in our own way. And you said it verbatim. You said you get in your own way, and I was like, I hear that. So anyway, I get it, but I do believe if you just started doing little short form videos, just like doing the dog in 3 seconds, and then even like long form recording, literally, you said some of them take 3 hours. Like you could record the whole thing and just put
yeah.
that up as a YouTube video. Sorry, Camille and I are like still trying to sell you.
Yeah, we're like,
social media
okay.
plan
So
here.
I'm like, okay. So how frequent
No,
should we?
you know
have
what?
that?
Yeah.
This is good.
Frequency of posting. What's your posting schedule going to be? No, I'm kidding. But yeah.
Okay. No, honestly though, I realize that's one of my big problems is I'm great at like having ideas. And what I'm not good at is translating these goals into like an actual production schedule. Like, okay, then at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., I'm going to work on this. And then from 10 to 10:20, we'll do this. 10:20, we can take a little coffee break. Then, like I don't do that. I'm like
Yeah.
answering an email, then something pops up and I'm like, oh, let me check that. Oh, that's cool. Wait, was she in that? Hang on. Let me just look that up real quick. And it's
I get it. Yeah.
like 2-3 hours later. I know there's members of my community in the chat right now, and they must be like, you've been talking about doing this kids YouTube thing forever,
For
Shayna.
real.
Like,
That'd be so cool though.
it's true. I've been talking about, but this is good. Thank you for like, I feel like anytime someone tells me like, I think that would work, I have to just like take it as like fuel and like,
Dude, you're so talented. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
just saying that. Like, that is, like, you came on and just made that dog in 3 seconds, and then you made the snake like nothing. Like, I was like, is this a joke? Like, is this
Yeah.
real? Like,
check out-
I had no idea that you were that skilled.
Instagram.
Oh my- I mean, I'm literally blown away. And then Dustin, who like never speaks a word, he was like, "Did you see this Godzilla?" And I was like, "Shh, we're like in the broad." But he was like, just audibly had a reaction because like the photo popped up, and he was just like, "Holy, look at this Godzilla!" And I was like, "We're in the middle of the show right now, But it was like, it was just so cool. Camille, I don't know if you saw that Godzilla. I was like, shook.
No. I
Yeah,
didn't
you'll have
yet.
to-
Oh my gosh! I just saw
Right?
That's insane. So okay, something like this with the Godzilla. How many balloons do you estimate like you used?
That is an excellent question, and I should have counted because I do get asked that sometimes. I would say, so it was 11 feet tall.
That's
and
insane.
Then that would, like, I was using 646s, which are 6 inches in diameter, right? So probably about 100 to 200 balloons. But that one was if you look at it, it's woven together. I don't know how to explain.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
it's
so there's
not
like
like
layers, yeah.
a balloon, because you're building something big and you don't have a balloon that's this thick. You have to layer them and connect them at the puts. You like put it together like a basket weave. Balloons are very similar to Lego, actually,
Hmm.
because it 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 is an art form that is modular. Like your material comes in a set dimension, and you have to connect it uh, together in 3 dimensions. Like you have to find when you're building it, you have to bear in mind how it connects to its neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's very similar to Lego, but also then it's flexible. So unlike Lego,
Looks like
if
we
you've
lost Camille. I'm like, dang.
I'm here, but
Oh,
my
the
face
camera
isn't.
just okay. I wasn't sure if you were actually like here voice wise too, so I was like, did you refresh and it still didn't work?
Yeah, I'm refreshing here, but
Ugh, hate to see
yeah,
it. Stream together did so well though until the
it was
end,
it's
which
doing
is
so well. There we
oh,
go.
there we
I'm
go.
back.
Okay.
But I'm honestly at a loss for words because like I was just staring at the Godzilla and then I realized my camera wasn't working and I'm just like,
Oh,
how?
we're
So
live.
okay, because you said you transported pieces of the Godzilla to
Mhm.
the location. I just buy balloons for my niece and nephew and put them in the car and they already pop. So like how do you I know this may sound like a very
Oh man,
simple like question, but
no.
like how do you make balloons last long?
That's an excellent question. So one part of it is like I was talking about how certain brands have like a higher quality balloon.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely, there with something like that, I would never work with a brand that I wasn't pretty confident in, that I didn't have experience with. But when you transport balloons, they have these enormous plastic bags. These are like
Oh
so
wow.
you kind of stuff everything into a giant plastic bag, each individual piece, and you put it in the back of a U-Haul. You have to keep balloons away from the sun. Like direct sunlight
Mm.
is not great for
Hmm.
balloons. Helium balloons will lose their air much faster than air-filled balloons
Oh,
because
interesting.
science, helium molecules are much smaller than just general air molecules. And so
Interesting.
the latex, because it is biodegradable, remember, it is instantly starting to biodegrade from the moment you inflate it. Actually, like
Mm.
in the bag, but inflating it certainly speeds up that process. And so you get these like tiny pores that open up in the latex, and you'll get some leakage of the gas that's in the balloon, and that'll happen faster if the molecule is smaller than if it's larger. Nitrogen
Wild.
filled balloons last much longer because nitrogen, a larger molecule.
You can
Um,
put nitrogen in a balloon? Like I
yes, I know some balloon artists who actually like bring nitrogen tanks with them to balloon to gigs. Not very many. There also have products that are on the market that you can coat the inside of a balloon with. It's sort of like a liquid
Oh,
polymer.
I've seen those. Yeah, like
Yes.
before it's blown up, you kind of like put it in there and
Yeah, it's like a snot kind of a
yeah.
texture, and you like rub it around inside the balloon. But
Ew.
that really
Cool.
works. The balloon will last, up to 2 or 3 weeks, compared to a balloon that would maybe last like 3 days. So it's definitely but it's a very work intensive addition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in my world, the big things are very fun, but that's not my specialty. My specialty are like this size that are just perfect. I also like
Yeah.
to draw on really exact faces because my two-dimensional art background comes in handy. And I've kind of learned to embrace the short life of the balloon, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't last for. I have my whole studio is just filled with the shriveled remains of like old balloon requests that we've made.
Yeah.
We call them my zombies. I have one right here. 3 years ago, at Halloween time, I was requested to make a Pennywise the clown. This is gonna like trigger warning, okay? This is really
Oh my god! Oh my gosh, that scared the hell out of me. That literally made my heart jump.
get out. But yeah, this is our. I drew it's Sharpie on the face. but there's that little nose that used to be inflated there. This used to be his hair and
So
like the
scary.
collar.
I
But like
cannot.
it's almost scarier now that he's deflated a little bit. But like you
Shayna.
get see it's not
Shayna.
no.
I
Yeah.
am on the East Coast where it is close to my bedtime, and now I'm gonna have that just
That
burnt
is the
into my
stuff of
brain as I
nightmares.
go to sleep.
It's
That was the stuff
nightmare
of
fuel.
nightmares.
So, is there one balloon that you made where you were really sad to see it shrivel?
I
Although you already know, right? Like you know, but like
right, that's the
where you're
thing
like,
is
man, I
I
wish it.
know. I've embraced that ephemerality. I think that balloon art is in a way a very zen practice. You know, you're making sandcastles, you're making ice sculptures. It's not going to last.
Hmm.
And in some ways it's more beautiful because of that. I think balloons have become associated so strongly with like celebrations, you know, with birthdays and whatever. And I think it works because you fill the room with balloons on a birthday, but then that birthday is one day and the balloon
Yeah.
is one day. Like it's the moment. It's a celebration of the moment and and it lives in your memory or on the VOD, which is fantastic. And yeah, I don't get too upset about it because I've just I'm used to it now. I've done it again. 18 years is a long time to do anything, and so at this point, I've kind of embraced it, and I like to be fascinated by the weird, you know, deformed thing that it becomes. I think that's also very interesting.
That
So
Pennywise was like,
I
I
can't
don't
get the
even
eyes
know.
out of
I
my
don't even
head.
know
I'm
what
just like,
words to describe that. The thing was that like my body was like, okay, she's gonna show some weird shriveled up balloon, and then you pulled it up slowly, and for some reason my whole body froze. Like it was
yeah,
like in panic mode. I was like, why did I get so scared? But anyway,
yeah,
I have no words. This has honestly been such a fun episode, and like I don't know about Camille, but I came in here being like, I don't know anything about balloons and I have no idea where this is gonna go, but I learned so much about balloons and you were an incredible human. To wrap
yeah.
everything up, I really just we're at the beginning of the year, so I didn't know if you had like goals for this year. I know we kind of touched about a kids YouTube, which should happen, but like what do you want to come out of this year for you?
I definitely would like to I would like to have a YouTube presence. I feel like I love Twitch. Twitch has been very good to me, by the
Mm-hmm.
way. Like not only the community, which is just invaluable and like has
Aw.
really helped me feel good about what it is I'm doing with my life, but also just like Twitch in general, the company has been very good to me. They have hooked me up with a lot of the brand sponsorships that come with the conventions and stuff like that because I think they recognize that the thing we're doing is unique and interesting, and
Mm-hmm.
so I appreciate that. But I feel like YouTube is more accessible for a larger group of people and kids in particular. And
Yeah.
that's where, that's look, although balloons are for everyone, they're not for kids, and that is something that I would like. So that's my 2025 is slowly dip my toe over there and finally make it happen.
If you have
So now
any
that
questions, hit us up. Like, we got a group chat open now. So I'm like, we'll help you the best that we can, you know? Like,
yeah.
this is not going to interest the chat at all, but from a social media standpoint, like, YouTube is tough. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely got formulas that I don't think a lot of people know. Like Camille and I have been diving into this, but it's like you need to make sure you have a strong headline. You need to make sure that there's keywords like in the bio. You got to make sure you have your end cards and all that stuff. I'm not saying this to overwhelm you because I honestly think that your material is so powerful and strong that you could literally just post it with like no title and people would probably be just so intrigued by the visuals, you know? But I'm like, if you ever need any help, I'm like, we'll try to help the best that we
Of
can, you
course.
know? Yeah.
Of
I'm like,
course, yeah.
yeah, Camille,
Well,
that
there's a
was
guard stump
really
in
my
it for
last
you.
question, unless you had anything to wrap up.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think what you do is amazing. I'm still gonna cry over Pennywise, but but I will never forget how quick you did that dog, and like the snake was just so adorable. I learned so much about something I never knew I would be so interested about, and now I find the need, instead of going to sleep right after this, which I should, I just want to watch your VODs and all the stuff
Oh.
you do even
Watch,
more.
watch some
So
clips. They're much shorter. They're much more
yeah,
digestible.
you're
Aw.
just incredibly talented, and I need to find a pack of balloons to try to make this dog
Okay.
myself.
Sempertex is the brand that I
Okay.
currently recommend. So I'll drop it in the group chat. But
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Aw.
I'm gonna
everyone
try,
hates
and
it.
I'm gonna like tag you in my attempt to make a dog.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to make a dog too. Camille, we're gonna make this happen. On one
Yeah.
of our streams, we're literally gonna try to do balloons, I
Wait,
think.
can we do it with just like air? Like we could do it with our
Yeah.
own. Like we don't need helium to make the
No,
dog,
but you
right?
do need a pump. Is
A
it the
pump.
one
I do
thing?
have a
I
pump.
do not
Okay.
recommend trying to mouth inflate a balloon.
Oh, I bet
Like
it's so hard.
easy. A
Yeah.
cylinder balloon, this shape is just physically more difficult. You will give yourself a hernia. So please
Oh.
don't.
We would have passed out and be like, "Hey, Shayna, we're in the hospital. What? What just
Camille
happened?"
and I wouldn't have even gotten past blowing up the balloon, let alone trying to make a dog. We literally have been like, what's happening here? Oh my gosh, that's too funny. I guess my last thing is do you want to tell everybody where they can find you at and when you stream and all that jazz?
Yeah, sure. We're currently on a Twitch hiatus, but we're coming back on Tuesday the 13th. We stream Tuesday and Thursday. We do late night streams. Because of course I have the kid. We got to wait till he's asleep. So we start at 8 p.m. Pacific and usually go for a couple hours. We also do a midday Monday stream while he's at school, and that starts at 10 a.m. Pacific. But our schedules currently we're shifting it around. But if you just follow Sharp Balloons, and also Sharp Balloons on Instagram, if you want to see some very cool photos of balloons, and the Discord servers, obviously where we have like the most comprehensive backlog of photos. I've made over 1,000 balloons on Twitch, so
Oh,
there's a
wow.
lot to go through.
Wow, that's so cool.
Sharp
This
balloons
is so
everywhere.
fun. Man, well, thank
That's
you
so cool.
so much, Shayna. You're awesome. We're gonna stay in touch. You're just like too cool. So you've
Thank
just
you.
gotten
We need
to
to
be
be
friends.
cool by association,
Pretty
so
much.
we hope to stay in touch. Yeah.
Pretty much. But thank you all for watching the lobby. Camille and I are still sorting this thing all out. But we've got like a few episodes under our belt, but we definitely want to find a more consistent time. But just such an honor to have you on. Like, thank you so much, Shayna. And we will be back later. And see y'all later. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna raid
Thank
somebody
you,
randomly.
everyone.
So raiding now.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.